Alrighty, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. Going to go ahead and get started here with our pre-market analysis for the S&P 500 futures market. Um, the issue this morning is that we never broke out of the range from the day before yesterday, so pretty much everything is going to be the same this morning. I'm not going to have anything new to add to the picture. But there is a nice little clinic here in Fibonacci just in the overnight session. So I do want to just kind of show you this just for shits and giggles. We had this sell off here from the high of yesterday up at 41.43. Look at that, a peak right into our major eye level and a major failure again. How many times have they come up and failed from there? Multiple times for the entire week. So we failed from our major eye level up here, up 44.33. We made a low on the overnight session here at about 84.5 there. And look what happened. A beautiful clinic in Fibonacci retracements. Right to the 38, which happened to also be our eye level. Pulled back, bounced off our eye level. Came up to the 50%, which happened to be 50% of the previous day. Pulled back right to our next eye level, 07.5. And then pushed up right to the 61.8 and got rejected again right where our minor eye level is. So even if you didn't look at it from a retracement perspective, pretty much all three levels it failed from. But just a beautiful little expose or clinic of a failure off each discrete retracement level just right here in the overnight session. I love that kind of stuff. I do want to go back to yesterday just to take a look at what happened here. By the way, the low of the day was our major eye level, 40.81. The high of the day was our major eye level, 41.42. Does it get any better than that? Unbelievable. I mean, this is almost like every morning. So we came down right into 40.81. In fact, that was my larger target when I got short just after the open here, right off the FMA. But we came down and we held the OPL. And this break here, I know it might look like, oh man, it broke right through the level, but that's less than 2 points of a break. So it came right to the OPL, bounced up, came to the OPL again, and then we failed off 07.5 just like we did basically at the open here. So we came right into the minor level, tried to push through, no strength. In fact, if you zoom all the way in, it came down, bounced off the FMA, hit 07.5, and then that was it. It started coming down into the low of the day before in the OPL there and bounced right off of it. But we came up, hit the 07.5, came down, bounced 2 ticks in front of that major retracement that we put on the chart, then came up and held the VWAP twice, and then came down and there's 081 there, 40.81. Broke it by like 2 freaking ticks, and this sucker pushed, I believe, over 50 points all the way up to the high of the day. On the way up, we came right into VWAP, got a rejection, and then they broke through, pulled back, held 94.25 here, did break by a little less than 2 points there, and then came up and we couldn't get through 07.5 again. So tried busting through this minor area of support and resistance, and then eventually got up through it. Not necessarily anything sexy over here, but we did pull back right back to 07.5 and bounced off of it with 1 tick of heat. So 07.5 acted as major resistance throughout the morning session here. Market broke out, pulled back, and literally bounced to the tick off of that level. And then we came up and almost basically failed from that level to the tick up here at 42. And so that kind of wraps up yesterday. If you look, we got the pullback from there. I don't think we ever came back. And interestingly enough, at the end of the day, if you had your holy orange power level on your chart, we came right back to it and bounced, in this case, to the tick right off of it and got a, whatever it is, 10, 15 point bounce. And then they went ahead and brought it just a little bit lower and bounced 1 tick in front of our major retracement level at the end of the day. So again, even though it was balanced and just up and down sideways, all of these structure zones that we have on the chart just work absolutely unbelievably, right? So couldn't get through 07, pulled back to 94. Tried to get through 07, failed, came to the retracement level, then came down to the major level. Then couldn't get through 07.5 again, pulled back, bounced through, then came down and used it as support. Came up, couldn't get through 1, 2, 3, broke through 1, 2, 3, pulled back, used it as support almost to the tick. Came up, couldn't get through the next one. You get the idea. It's just unbelievable shit. Anybody show me any better levels of support and resistance, and I would wager to bet that they're no better than what we're dealing with here. So anyway, that was enough of scrubbing my own back there. Let's get into this morning. As you can see, there has been a little bit of a recovery here in the overnight session. They had to once again go ahead and come down into a good level, get a good bounce, and then come down and peak right on through it, only to come all the way back up. And in the overnight session here, we came up to our minor level 07.5. We came down to our minor level 94.25, and these are like to the tick. Bounced off, got a little peek through, again one of those peak below and bounce situations, and then we pulled back and we held 07.5, and then we just came up as we were speaking here in the pre-market session at the beginning, right to 41.23 and failed. So that's where we find ourselves this morning. If we zoom out and look at it from a bigger perspective, you can see that we have not broken out of the range of basically Monday or Tuesday here in the overnight session. So there's really not much new to add in terms of actual levels to be aware of here. We've got the major leg up from 39.13 all the way up to the all-time high we made in the last couple weeks up here at 41.47 I believe. So we have that whole leg mapped out here, which we talked about on Tuesday, and we have the second leg here up from the low of July 28th up. So we have all those legs already mapped out. We already talked about them. We've talked about some of these major swing highs as the market starts to pull back. And we have not come down to test any of the levels, except for 40.81, which again yesterday we came down and used it as a support and broke it by 1 or 2 ticks. So we used the first level we talked about. We haven't come down to test all these additional levels below. Let me go up to the daily and just take a look at what's going on there. We did have what I said was an argument for the bears off of the high of August 1st. So ever since that candle closed, we had a little bit of a bias, especially because the 4-hour and the hourly also have all bearish signals from that high. We expected there to be a pullback, and there was a little bit of an argument for a bullish bounce off of the lows yesterday going into the pre-market session, but more of a weight on the bearish signal from the daily. So the expectation was for a pullback. The question always becomes, how far are the bears going to be able to take it before the bulls try to do another one of these attempts to break out to the upside? So that's still in play on the daily, still in play, like we said, maybe even on the weekly chart as we come into this new week over here. And it's the true on the 4-hour. Now, here's the thing I'm seeing when we get to a little bit more resolution off the lows of the pullback here. The lows of yesterday all have some pretty good 4-hour bullish signals from those lows. So even though we had a huge confluence of bearish signals, we were expecting a pullback, we're starting to get some pretty good intraday time frame signals that there's an attempt to bounce. And you can see that ever since we've gotten these 3 4-hour bullish signals from yesterday's lows, the market has attempted in the overnight session here to actually break out to the upside. So just want to point out that on the 4-hour signals, just like the daily, very, very strong moves happen on the intraday time frames when we see that stuff. On the 60-minute chart, our hourly chart, it agrees with what the 4-hour is saying off of all the lows that were being made yesterday. And from there, you can see we've got this attempt to break out to the upside, but they just failed off just in front of a tick in front of our minor level there, or 2 ticks in front. So this morning, like I said, all the levels happen to be the same as they were yesterday. and pretty much the same as they were on Monday as well. We just had to adjust some of these retracement levels because the high on Monday got pushed out by a few points. So let's look at this. If the bulls end up holding from 4081 down here, and they continue to break higher and they can get through the highs of this week, we're looking at all these major and minor eye levels above as potential areas of resistance. So again, these are all major and minor eye levels you should have on your chart, or at least you have access to what they are, and you could have them on your chart. And then the only other level that sticks out to me up above us here is going to be that major retracement level that I've been mentioning for a long time now, 42.21 So that's what we're looking at as potential targets to the upside if there's some type of bullish break this morning. And then on the other side of things, if we get through 81, which is going to be the important level here, I'm going to be looking at targeting the major retracement, this swing high down here around 40.58. So be targeting down to 40.70, about 40.58, 40.52. And then this is really important down here, this pocket 40.42 to 40.44. And then again down to the next retracement at 40.30, our minor level 40.23. And then we're back into 40.16, 4006, and then the 6218 retracement at 4002, give or take a few ticks. So these are the levels we'll be targeting to the downside. These are the levels we'll be targeting to the upside. And inside of all of the chop that we've been stuck in here since basically Friday's range, Monday's range, and Tuesday's range here, very, very balanced right now. Inside of here, I don't think I'm really going to be doing a lot of trading. So I'd like to see this breakout to the downside or to the upside here this morning. And that basically wraps everything up here. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you want to be doing here this morning. Remember, we have and I'll just go down to my 10-minute chart here. We do have our daily power levels going on if we zoom in to the minutia here. And you guys know the orientation with that, right? So if we can't stay above the magenta or the orange power level, that's a pretty good clue that we're coming down to test the lows of the day before and break lower. Of course, there's no hard rule in trading, as you guys know. It's a very fluid thing. It's always changing instant by instant. But that's what we're looking at here this morning. So hopefully that helps. And we'll see you guys tomorrow as usual.